think the best part definitely would be all the opportunities you get for independent research. I think that it's such a privilege to be able to meet a bunch of experts in the field here at MIS, and that you can just pop into their office and talk to them, and talk about this extremely narrow thing you're passionate about. So I would say that's the best part. I originally followed the podcast that MIS puts on, Arms Control Wonk podcast, and became really interested in all these issues in part because I listened to it when I was really young. And so, I thought it was only natural that I actually come and meet some of the people behind that and behind some of the research that MIS had done over the years in the Non-Proliferation Review that I was reading, in my coursework and what have you. And so it was a great opportunity. I thought that, wow, they're offering an internship in Monterey, no less. And so I came down here, and it's been a good decision so far. I guess in terms of my main responsibilities, they largely revolved around, one, you do a lot of editing work and writing work for the Nuclear Threat Initiative, but they oftentimes change depending on your specialty. So I know some people in the internship work on satellite imagery analysis. Others tend to work in terms of language, training and reading foreign documents and what have you. And then there are people like me who do a lot of historical digging for declassified records and writing about them. In particular, my project revolves around looking at countermeasures and penetration aids for ICBM systems that foreign countries develop, and I found it enormously rewarding. This program is kind of unique in that you have a lot of guest lectures that take up a lot of your day. So you end up learning actually a lot. I learned a lot more than I thought I would. In addition to the learning on the job you do, you go to these lectures, and I had so many takeaways. I think the most interesting components definitely were a lot of the lecturing on safeguards regimes, how inspections work. These sort of technical details I think are super duper interesting. Also, there was a presentation earlier on sanctions, enforcing sanctions with North Korea that I thought was really, really impressive. And I think they're taking that open source research, into the broader field very soon. So it's kind of good to get a sneak peek on some of the research coming out here at MIS. You work about a 7.5-hour workday. I start by getting here, oftentimes doing research. On Fridays, we meet with our advisor to sort of discuss progress, and then from then on, I usually do some of my independent research. Then oftentimes at 10 o'clock we have a lecture from one of the professors here, and then after that we usually have lunch. The lecture lasts for about 2 hours, and I go back to doing things for NTI or doing my own independent research. I think that's generally a typical day. I think that there's something intrinsically relaxing and calming about working in this kind of environment, especially when you're talking about really tough topics like, chemical weapons or the humanitarian implications of nuclear detonations. I think that, being in such a nice place kind of helps, keep you calm and makes the work a lot more enjoyable. I would say if somebody had a really, really deep and niche interest in something pertaining to nuclear weapons of any kind, or proliferation, or sanctions, they should come here. I think it's a good opportunity to meet people that share your interests, and you can do a lot of independent research to kind of further that really, really, pressing desire you have to do your research. I know that I've met a lot of people who are obsessive in a good way. And so it's good to come here and work on some of that.